Hello, welcome to a track by track. It's Cole and Brendan from games Brrraains A Head-Banging Life. We're doing a track by track for a classic album in our regards. We're looking at Nola, the debut album by Down, what was once the side project of several members from Pantera, I Hate God, Corrosion of Conformity, and so on. But it's now just a band.
And it's 1995 it was released, 24 years ago. Although apparently, from what I read on it, it was started in 1990.
Right.
Because the bands were busy with their other commitments, it was like doing it on a weekend off, bank holiday Monday.
Yeah.
You know.
Like all the other bands were still going at this stage.
Yeah.
So it really was just like a super group.
Yeah. It's a long album as well. Just short of an hour.
It is.
Tracks on it, which you don't really get these days unless it's like one of the older bands, really. I mean, the format these days seems to be like between 30-40 minutes, doesn't it?
That does, yeah.
You know, whereas back then it was like an hour was an album length. And interestingly, because it was a side project, I thought this was quite interesting. They only actually did 13 dates for this album they toured.
Oh, I'm surprised they even toured it.
And all of it was in the US, and 12 of those 13 dates were an evening with format.
Oh, wow. What the fuck? But you only had one album?
Yeah, so I'm guessing there were probably small clubs and stuff like that.
Right.
So it was just Down, and that was it.
Right.
Well, but then who knows, man? Maybe they played like Pantera, maybe they played...
Yeah, fucked around, jammed
like
and stuff like that.
And all that. Then.
That makes sense.
But
yeah.
Just interesting that
Yeah.
Phil and Selma doing an evening with.
So before we go into the actual tracks then, so we're both big fans of Down. We are both big fans of Down. We have seen them live.
Yeah. And they're great.
Yes. Was this your starting point with Down?
No, the next album was actually
Busting Your Head Grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine was the third album, Down 3, Over the Under, which was unlucky for me because that's like the weakest.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for you there is going backwards isn't exciting.
That's what it was. I heard Over the Under, liked a few songs in it, was like, never really got into them, and then maybe sometime later went back and heard these two albums, and weirdly enough, this is not my favourite Down album. Down 2 is my favourite album. This has got some of the best songs.
I mean, these are both are brilliant albums.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. I think, I mean, probably as an album, I'd probably agree with you. I think this has got my favourite Down song on it, though. Across all of them.
Alright, interesting to see what that is.
Yeah.
Obviously, the opening, though, it opens with what is a Down favourite, a Down staple, live staple, and one of people's favourites, and it's Temptation's Wings.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote down that basically the first 15 seconds of this song is basically, if you would like to say summarise Down for me in 15 seconds, you could play 15 seconds of this, which is like the gentle drum. Then Phil comes in and says something like, I can never work out whether he says let's do it or let's go. And then it comes in with that big southern riff.
Yeah,
that's Down.
That groovy main riff is fucking. It's such a starting point, and vocally, like because of the way Phil is in it, I think it's more in line with Pantera, like less gruff, more that kind of thing. It's a hell of a start, and you're right about the fact that you would just be like, okay, this is Down.
You wrote the same. I can see on your notes that you wrote the same thing for me about the misheard lyric.
Well, see, this never bothered me, but my wife kept saying to me she had misheard this lyrics. My will is falling apart, and because of the way he'd say "will," she misheard it as "my willy is falling apart," and because of that, I can't not fucking hear that now.
Well, actually. Just not trying to one up your wife here.
All right.
But about 2.5 years ago, I wrote an article for our site with 10
misheard lyrics.
Misheard lyrics.
Yeah.
And this was the one that I put down that I always misheard.
Right.
That it always sounded to me like he was saying, "My wheelie's falling apart."
Yeah.
And it's same thing. You can't not hear it now. There is no way of hearing the actual words. "My will is."
Yeah.
You know.
It's so fucking annoying.
But yeah, great song though.
Yeah.
Great song.
But then we get one of my favourite Down tracks. And it is Life Bang Alive. And it's the first track, thankfully, quite soon after Temptation's Wing, where there's a clear, this isn't Pantera. Like, if you went into this going, Phil, that's kind of how it was for me. Because at the time, the only person I knew in this band knew who they were was Phil and Selma. I didn't know who Pepper Keenan was. I didn't know who Jimmy Bauer was.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have either.
Yeah, it was Phil.
Yeah.
So any point of me thinking that I was in Pantera was Gone with Lifer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I think it's a fantastic track. I love the end of it, actually, when Phil starts letting loose a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of Down is Phil singing more than shouting.
Yes.
At the end of Lifer, when he's just kind of screaming Lifer and repeat.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. It's like he just lets loose. But yeah, it's a cracker song, man.
Then we get Pillars of Eternity, one of the lesser known ones.
Yeah.
Listen to it again. I just found it's one of those headbanger ones. It's just like, yep, this is good. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to like about it. I wrote, basically, it's never really stuck as a favourite of mine.
Yes.
I mean, the guitars are great. And then I also wrote, I'm probably wrong here, but I'm pretty sure when I have my headphones in that I can hear a cowbell. I'm pretty sure there's a cowbell going, ding, ding.
No, I don't remember it from earlier on, but I was pacing.
Listen back for it.
Cool. Rehab, cleaner guitars in this one, man. I think, right, tell me if you get this vibe from it. Rehab, the only song for it, for me, get the guitars sound almost old school metal, like heavy metal from the early days, like how clean they are. There's no fuzz, there's no doominess, there's none of that thing, there's none of that southern vibe to any of it. And because of that, Phil's singing, not screaming, singing in it fits together. So I guess that's what they were going for. I reckon his vocals were more done here before the guitar lines were. Because to fit it, because they're so clean compared to everything else. Particularly the start, they really, and it's like, all I kept thinking was, if I didn't know everything already, I would be thinking I was just do a bit of a classic heavy metal band here.
Yeah, I mean, I made a note pointing out about like Phil singing on it. Yeah, basically, because it's cool as fuck that everything I knew about Phil up to that point was suddenly like, oh, and he can do this. Yeah, and that was cool to see that he can go that. Singing.
I mean, we had it with Pantera, but so we kind of like, you knew we could sing, but this was it's just not the same.
You could sing, but it's different.
It is different.
But yeah, Rehab was one of you know, as you go rotate a favourite song.
Oh yeah,
it was one of my favourites for a long, long time. Probably not for months, not for years, but for months on this album. It's my favourite track.
Cool. Then we get Hell. Well, I wrote Hell the fucking Leaf.
We've got I think we got a similar kind of thing on this. I never really cared for this song. Never really did. I always felt it was the sort of thing a band records for a laugh that appears as a B-side 10 years later. You know,
it's one that people love, and I never really get why, because it's weird to say that, but I'm like, it's not so much I think it's a joke, but I'm just kind of like, this was you guys going, yeah, we need to fill an album. Other than the throatiness of the vocals, it's really, you know.
The shit that I don't like in it is, and this is why it sounds like a B-side to me, is when they have things like the bong bubbling away in the background and all that stuff. It starts being such a serious song to me then. It's like, okay, so you're just fucking about now.
Well, yeah, we like weed. Let's do a song. Yeah. Then we get Underneath Everything. Now, this was going back for me. I can't remember the last time I've heard this song, but listen to it again. I was like, holy fucking shit. How underrated is this song? Yeah. It has got mega guitar groove in it. Really good to listen to this again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying, listening back to it, I don't remember listening to it an awful lot. I did write it as a good song. I did find it got quite samey through the verses.
Fair enough.
You know, I was like, okay. You know, it didn't have like the spark of some of the previous songs. It was like, okay, just more of the same. But then it's got a great solo.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. For me, it's massive underrated. It's great to go back to. Maybe it's because it was such a long, long time. Yeah. Whereas then following it with Our Eyes of the South, as soon as it came on, I was like, oh yeah, Eyes of the South, like, because it's a classic. And weirdly enough, what I love about it was kind of like what I loved back then. It was going back in time. And I've always loved that jam room style that begins, where it's just like they're building up into stuff.
Yeah.
And it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And it was like, okay, but it starts where it's like, oh, it sounds to me like you were in that recording studio and you were like, someone throw down a bass line.
Yeah.
Get some drums going and let's see what comes out of it.
Yeah, and that's the standout part of the song, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I wrote down as well. It's the long building intro. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And the way that it ends with Phil, almost like he was sitting there watching them all go, and then he starts off with "God damn."
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
you kind of imagine it as like he's just sitting there going, yeah, like jamming, and they're all jamming away, and he's like, "God damn."
Yeah.
And
off I go. Yeah. Fantastic. And we get Gel, bit mellow, bit trippy, forgettable.
Yeah. It's a nice music. It's a nice song. It's a chill out track.
Yeah.
I think it's way too long.
Oh yeah.
It's like over 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it feels like an interlude, but it's a long interlude if you go at 5 minutes. Interestingly though, and I didn't know this, but Phil actually plays a mandolin on this track.
No, I did not know that.
There you go. I'm just going to throw out random facts.
No, it's good. That's what the track by track's for. Losing All, I found it to be a filler track, and this really bugged me. Listen to it again, so directly in a row like this. How similar is that riff to Temptations Rings?
Yeah. But I mean, we got quite a lot of crossover actually on this track. In our opinions of the song.
Yeah, it's not 10 things.
No, but like in our opinions.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wrote that. It's an okay track, but it's like filler for me.
Yeah.
Again, like the whole album, even the filler is good music. It's just not as good as the really good songs. And I really don't like the fact that they put a strange effect on when he says "all." So when he goes losing, oh.
That's right,
and
yeah.
There's an effect. If you listen to it carefully, you can hear like a kind of electronic effect on it. So it waves it up and down.
I found it bubbling. Bubbling.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And I don't really get that because that is so not down.
Yeah.
Effects on your lyrics. I mean,
it's a bit weird why you do that, yeah. Experimentation.
Unless they were, again, trying to go down the hey, we smoke weed, bong sound thing. But then, right, we get it. We know.
It's interesting you mentioned earlier on about like certain like Temptation Wings when you think of down songs, Temptation Wings and all that, but Stone the Crow. That's like probably up there as well.
Yeah, I mean this would have been one of my favourite songs for most of the time of this album.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I love this song.
Yeah,
I think it's brilliant. It's not my favourite song on the album.
No, I reckon I know what that is.
I've put that in it, but this is the second best song on this whole album. It's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, it's certainly one.
I think for me, it showed like it was. Even though it's the debut album, right? So we're already seeing like new stuff from Down, and it's hard to then say, oh, this then switches it all up. But this song is completely different to a lot of what's on the album, I think. And this was like, for me, it was like, oh, all this great groove and riffs and everything like that. And then this song came in with like the beautiful melodies and the clean singing and all that. But then it still has plenty of time where it goes into the heaviness. And I just thought this to me, it was a combination of everything brilliant about Down.
Yeah, you sum it up wonderfully.
Yeah.
We get Pray for Locust. It's a short bit of guitar strumming and melody.
Yeah.
It's not much to it.
No, I mean, the only thing I wrote was it was nice to see him so hopeful for future Machine Head releases.
Very good.
But that's about all I had to say in it. I was like, yeah, so it is what it is, you know.
Then we get Swan Song, which I literally just wrote damn deep and heavy. It's exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, Swan Song to me actually it comes across a better song than it probably is, purely because it comes off the back of a quieter period where you go Stone the Crow, Pray for the Locust, then it goes into Swan Song.
Yeah,
I think if Swan Song came in the middle of Temptations Wings and all that, you would be like this filler.
Yeah,
and I think
forgettable.
It's because you're brought down and you have this chill out, and then that comes in and you're like, okay, it brings you back up, so you kind of welcome the riffs again. It's a decent song. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with it.
It's the problem that a lot of these songs, or some of these songs on this album have, is that they are stacked up against some fucking brilliant songs. So as you listen to it, you start off with two amazing tracks, and it's very difficult for every song to then live up to them levels. Yeah. And then you get to here, and you've already listened to Stone the Crows, and then
Eyes of the South.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh come. So you're almost like being punished by the fact that the songs around it are so fucking good.
Yeah, it's
outside of that, it's a great song. It's just you're not as great as these ones. But there you go.
And then we finish with what I suspect is Brendan's favourite song.
It has to be the only one left.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But what a finish Bury Me in Smoke is. It's the longest track, and it's very brutal at times.
Yeah.
But it is a fucking banger.
It is. I think it's perfect, man.
Perfect.
It is perfect as a song. I absolutely love it. I love the I don't know how to explain it, but it's the build up to the chorus where he kind of sings and you've got an ascending guitar line, and then at the end it goes into
yeah, that's so good. I mean? Yeah,
it goes you go through the verse, and then it goes all melody as he's building up to the bury me in smoke, and then it comes in with that and it's just like fucking hell, that's heavy.
Perfect way to finish an album as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, as an album goes, as a debut album, and I know these are seasoned artists and performers.
No, but they had to work together, which is...
They had to work together. But also, what they were trying to do, I don't know if they were trying to do, but I kind of feel they were, because like Nola is New Orleans, Los Angeles, or whatever. Is that spelling it? N-O-L-A?
New Orleans, yeah. It's from the south, yeah.
Yeah. But it was them... To me, if somebody says anything to me about the South of America, musical scene in that, I think Down. Down, I don't know if it's real, but to me they captured the sound of a whole fucking part of the continent. Yeah. And that's what I imagine it being. And I'm going to be very disappointed if one day I go to New Orleans and everyone's playing like jazz. Because I'll be like, hang on a second, I thought it all sounded like Temptation.
Yeah. There's a section of it, yeah.
But you know, it was a monumental album.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hopefully there's more to come from them.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely cover number 2 for sure in a track by track in future, because that's another one that has to be done, really. But yeah, that's Down's Nola for track by track. Check out the other content, check out the other videos and track by tracks. Let us know what you think in the comments, what your favourite track is, and so on. And hit that like and subscribe button.
Hit it.